Hi guys! Today we're doing something fun because we're trying to make a game in a week. So I had thought about making a little game for a while, and truth be told, I don't entirely remember how I came up with the idea, but I do know that I was sitting in the car with my boyfriend and telling him how I could model a vacuum in Blender to suck up aliens and how I could make a really gross sound with my mouth for it. It must be such a pleasure to date me. Anyways, all I knew was I wanted it to be in space and to have an alien vacuum cleaner, but that was enough to let me go through with this and try to make a game in 7 days. And here's how it all went down. For day 1 I wanted to model the player and decide on / program a basic player movement, as well as dabble into modeling planets. Since I wanted to create all assets for this project myself, I had to hop into Blender first and model a rocket, which we are going to use as our player. I'm actually kind of proud of it. I think it looks pretty neat. Okay, next we need to deal with the player movement. Here I played around a bit and then decided to go for this simple approach where I'm using the horizontal and vertical input. I think it gives it a nice zero gravity feel. And then I needed a coffee, desperately. Okay, I'm all fueled up, so we can start generating some planets. Yep, they are actually procedurally generated. I used the code from an older video of mine and I just added a script to save the planet's meshes. I'll of course link to the other video down below. And that is the end of my day 1, which many of you seem to really enjoy on Twitter, so thanks for all the likes for that. Okay, the morning of day 2, I decided to go with 2 goals for this day. I wanted to add a sun and then have my planets orbit it, as well as playing around with some fancy camera controls so that you can zoom in on the rocket and look at its beauty up close. Yes, I'm actually very proud of that damn rocket. Sue me if you must. So I first jumped into VS Code and tried to implement some old code of mine to instantiate a proper universe and to get the planet movement right. I had used this in an old ECS universe thing I did ages ago, and I think it turned out okay, although I probably could have spent more time on it and make the ellipses random. After that was done, I played around with some camera stuff and actually tried some third-person kind of movement, but I decided against using it in the game, so I just kept the zoom code and deleted the rest. My day 3 was filled with Blender, because I needed to model, animate and rig the aliens, as well as the vacuum for my rocket. So I hopped into Blender and made an alien, which I'm honestly not proud of at all. He looks kinda stupid and also like a Teletubby. But they'll be really small, so that's good enough for me. Now for my sucker. I think sucker is a much more fun word than vacuum, and I never know how many U's and C's to write anyways. Now the montage of this is going to look super short because video magic and all, but I actually spent most of my day looking at the screen, so I needed some fresh air. The sound of nature. And me almost falling over trying to get a good looking shot. Going into day 4, it dawned on me that all I had at this moment wasn't really a game yet, so I had to implement some gameplay first thing in the morning. And when I went to open Unity, this happened. Great. Google had no proper answer for me, so I reported a bug and went to the gym. Luckily I got an answer to my bug super quickly and I managed to fix it and could finally prototype my aliens. For day 5 I wanted to keep my expectations limited because yesterday was a bummer, so I just gave myself my last 2 tasks of the day before I couldn't finish. So first up, I needed to properly implement my prototype from yesterday into the game, which wasn't as easy as you'd think. Many aliens were lost in the depths of the universe, and some rocket pilots suffered from nausea while I tried to figure out how quaternions work again. But I eventually figured it out and even managed to add a fancy particle effect to the rocks my aliens shoot around. And with that, I was happy for the day and decided to relax with a book. We are almost at the end, and I knew I really needed to start piecing things together. I hadn't really made up my mind at that point how I wanted to switch from flying through the universe to the actual game where you orbit around the planet to suck up the aliens. In my first iteration, you could basically inspect the planet in a freeze frame and see the alien occupation in an indicator around the planet, but I really hated how that felt. So I ended up just indicating the alien occupation around the spaceship itself, and allow you to attack by pressing space. In retrospect, I'm sure I could have found a nicer solution with more time, but I'm okay with that. I also started writing my game manager class, which allows me to move from scene to scene. At the end of the day, I rewarded myself with a little hike up my friendly neighborhood mountain.
Jeez, that's pretty big.
This is my last day to work on this project, so I really need to get it together today, but luckily I'm pretty much done. I had to do a few tweaks and create a WebGL version so you guys can play the game and try it out. I also created a few more levels and tried to clean up the project as much as possible since I'm going to share it with my patrons. At the end of the day, I'm really happy with my results. I do think if I did this again, I'd maybe do things in a different order and not focus so much on visual things. But I produced an okay game and I'm kind of proud about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I had a lot of fun making the game and also sharing a little bit of my life with you along the way. Please let me know if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye!